Hiya Hinsters, welcome back to the channel. And if you're new, wait, welcome too. By the way, if you're a Leo Sun or Leo Rising, I'm currently offering a 50% discount on my services for you all Leo season. So check out the description box below to inquire. Do also feel free, of course, to subscribe and to give this video a thumbs up if you resonate with it and my work. But anyway, in this video, August Astrology 2021, I'm just going to give my take on the astrology for August. And of course, you can check out the video I did for July's astrology as well. But anyway, I hope you are safe and well. So August straddles Leo and Virgo seasons. And as usual, I'll talk a bit more about Leo today and more about Virgo in the kind of near future videos. Now, we've already been quite primed for Leonite energy with Mars and Venus having already transited Leo, and with Mercury and the Sun now being there as well. So yes, late July, early August can almost always start off with a nice big bang or big feels, and the Sun is naturally in its domicile at this time in Leo. And also with Mercury here, exactly conjunct the Sun on August at 9 degrees on August 1st, we get a real party sort of vibe potentially, which is also very youthful and bold. It's also with, things just freshly coming out of Cancer. It's like party with your family as well, kind of thing, celebrations with family, or reunions, rejoice with family as well. And it's a perfect time, I think, to meet up with your family, with friends, siblings, neighbors even. Mercury deals a lot with friends and neighbors as well. Or just, getting lots of different people together to celebrate or just hang out, just chill out. So I do envisage more selfies, more commemorations as well of proud, sort of happy moments or pride and happiness. But Leo season generally, it is this time when the sometimes harsh vibes and moody movements of Cancer season start to dry out, and we're left standing on the plateau, a kind of desert space, and it is strikingly clear what it is that we need to do, what it is that we've done, but also there should be a huge rejoice again, I think, as is in every Leo season, where the people and things and places that really are loyal to or fixed fast to you remain. So the water, the emotions, everything gushy kind of fades, and there's this leftover. The things that really matter, the things that have lasted, the things that have sort of worn the storm, if you like, and they haven't been washed away. And that can just be about you and yourself as well. You haven't been washed away, even though you might have felt washed out. But anyway, of course, it's not always easy, right, to deal with Cancer season and, for example, to not bear a grudge or to not get tangled up in some drama or toxicity that we, should really have snipped ourselves out of by now. And so, yes, some of us will be left with the people who simply sided with us when we were in those moods and phases, or simply with the things we proudly or perhaps fearfully, sort of clung to. So we might not automatically think of this when we think of Leo as well, but this kind of energy can actually be really alienating. And there's this period for some people of facing ourselves. I often talk with Leo about facing the music, facing the condition, facing the color of our heart. Um, Leo is the second of the two heart seasons, the first being Cancer, but it's the more outward, expressive, intense, or impactful, shall I say, physically impactful side of the two heart seasons. And it's the second of the regal spaces of the year. And in the terms of the theme of Mundi, Leo season is kind of like that big chance to really show up and prove ourselves somehow with a childlike heart as well, though. There's still, like, I think, the rainbows and the fire and the glitz, and the dreaminess, absolutely. But to like plug our pure intentions as well back into the world. But anyway, the tone of August is really marked by that 9-degree conjunction of the Sun and Mercury, making a cazimi. And so I feel that August can be a big month or moment of the year when we well and truly get the message about something. It can be a big sort of unmistakable realization about something for some, especially relating again to the heart, to passions, to our purest love for things. And I feel that Leo season is also really good in this metal ox year, with Leo being a fixed fire energy. And so if we're, in the right lane and we're just doing our thing, we're following our dream, whatever that might be. And I know that can sound like kind of corny, follow your dreams. It can simply be more just about like following your right way, what and who is for you, and what and who isn't for you, because that's a very Leonite thing as well, just knowing what you do deserve and what you do not deserve, and knowing as much what you don't want, right? Who you don't want, what kind of love you don't want, and not only what you do want. So yeah, if we're in the right lane and just doing our thing, this is simply when things can get more bold and more emphasized. And it can be tiring because Leo season is a fire season. It's fixed fire again. So it can be tiring. It can feel like this constant slog. But I feel like it's worth it if your heart is in it, or if the end goal, the end result, the end money is attached to some sort of sincere, pure intention. And also, I think there can be a lot more recognition and feelings of pride for these accomplishments, and pride for your accomplishments thus far. When we get into Virgo season, Libra season, it is a good time to start looking back at what we've achieved thus far, as we're sort of getting towards the halfway mark through the year. But anyway, this is Leo season now, and we do have right now Venus in Virgo, sort of paving the way here in August. So because it's ahead of a lot of the planets, including now ahead of Mars. And so we do have Venus in Virgo, in kind of giving us this vibe of you're being invited to parties, but you're turning down the invite to clean your room, or to clean up yourself, or to fix up yourself, or you're deciding to meet someone else or attend something else out of a greater sense of obligation or duty. Some people might even be choosing themselves more, out of a sense of obligation to the self. And it can be surprising at times, because people can get very surprised when Virgo and people, Virgo heavy people do this. They can get very surprised when there's this, no, I'm choosing myself now, or I'm serving myself this time. But a lot of us might spend the whole month at home exercising, doing chores, fixing things, typical Virgo stuff. And it can be quite menial, but all, I think, in the name of something ardently cared about in Leo season, coming out of Cancer season as well, and something, in some cases, that is to be guarded even. And I also wanted to say that this is the perfect time to get a nice haircut, to get that style or color or whatever that you know is more up your street, but maybe you've never tried or you've been holding it off. Just make sure that it's not about like attention seeking or a trend, and that it's actually something again that falls in line with what is you, what's in your actual lane, or what you're actually sincerely again sort of aiming towards, where you're headed genuinely. And I did make a Venus in Virgo video as well, so you can check out Venus's role in more detail in August if you like. I also feel that there's strong divinity in this August. You know, the gods will reward a good heart, I think, and they also will test a prideful person. And it can get very like Hunger Games in Leo season. And I actually think that with Venus in Virgo, August is this moment to get swiftly checked on our pride. And it's a good time to check ourselves as well. You know, Venus is sharp now, and it's a bit like, don't kid yourself. You've got plenty of work left to do yourself. It's kind of like that. So not getting too up ourselves. You know, now I will be making videos on the more specific transits, but on July 30th, we have, just to get into the dates now for those interested, on July 30th, we have Mars entering Virgo, joining Venus. So I'm quite excited for that. Still within an opposition to Jupiter, which is retrograde now in Aquarius. And as I film on July 28th, we're in this Jupiter-Mars opposition. But on the first day of August, we'll have a cazimi, another cazimi of the Mercury and the Sun in Leo. It's basically now at 9 degrees, or at the beginning of August rather. So let me know anyway in the comments where you have 9 degrees of Leo, and if there are any natal planets there. On August 8th, we have our new moon in Leo, which is making a lovely stellium in Leo with Mercury. Now, from around August 16th to about August 21st, we have a Mars-Mercury conjunction. And August 22nd, we have our full moon, which is again in Aquarius, like our last full moon. Not last year, but the last month's full moon, which was also in Aquarius. So it's very special. And this one will have the moon at 29 degrees of Aquarius. On August 20th, we also have Uranus stationing to go retrograde in Taurus. So that's now going to be quite a few planets retrograde all at once, including Neptune, Saturn, Jupiter, Pluto, and Chiron. On August 23rd, we get the beginning of Virgo season proper. And on August 24th, we'll have an interesting opposition actually between the retrograding Neptune and Moon in Pisces and Mercury in Virgo. So let's talk a teeny bit about Virgo just to end. Again, I'll talk more about it in the September video. But with Virgo, this is a double-bodied earth sign. We sort of have sand. It's like sand, or really light dirt. It's not heavy compacted dirt or mud, which is more Taurus. It is like light. Malleable is a word we often use with the double-bodied signs, but it's light, more malleable earth. And it's like desert material, which I think is quite apt to think about with all the Leonite energy that's been building up as well. With Virgo, we get also the quiet child. It's kind of like the quiet child who knows that their parent is wrong, but doesn't mention it or make too much of a fuss. It's kind of like very Rodel Matilda vibes with Virgo, the Virgo Pisces axis as well. And there's a polite power here, power in politeness. And there's this certain array of spells that the Virgo casts through silence alone, through just being, and through just letting the winds and the clouds blow on by, pass on by. You know, strong, quote unquote, good Virgoan energy will help us, I think, immediately accept that someone, what do I want to say? It'll help us immediately identify when something or someone is wrong, but also we immediately will accept that wrongness too has its place in the world or in life or in spiritual experience. However, it's not about arrogance. And we can really trip up here, especially with the Leonine energy as well. We can really trip up into arrogance. It's not, and that is not strong, good Virgo energy. It's supposed to be, or it's not supposed to be rather, about feeling better or higher because something is known or because we serve something and we feel like we deserve recognition or gratitude or a pat on the back. With the overarching ox energies as well, Virgo season could really test us to see how truly unwavering we are, like a tree which wavers in the air. Yes, it wavers, but it's always trying, right, to stay, always staying sort of grounded, rooted. So there's a rootedness to the Virgoan nature as well. But we are going to be tested, especially in the ox year at this point, and especially into Libra season. My gosh, are we sticking to our paths, our right ways? The final big test, by the way, is going to be in Aquarius season. I think in this ox year, Aquarius season is going to be the hardest or most interesting point. But anyway, more indecision and more irritation gets kind of introduced right now as we start to tap into or get tangled up in judgmentalism and like righteousness and those sorts of frequency. And with Virgo, the secret is just being and not worrying and creating spiritual protection through really, really simple and quite often sort of wallflower, unseen acts of tidying, simple acts of correcting the self as well, internally. When criticism of others or self comes in, and I'm going to talk more about this later, the magic of Virgo, but anyway, the simple acts, I guess, of honoring that divinity is not only found within the grand, the shiny, the sparkly, but in everything, in the stones, in the ground, in the trees. So that's anyway all I'm going to say this time. I will see you in the next one. I'll be back very soon with more on the transits, and I'm wishing you a nice, happy hump day and Leo season. Love you very much. Take care.